Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm changing my live stream because there's some breaking news out from the last couple of minutes. The hantavirus has now been confirmed to spread from human to humans. Now, we were talking about this last night, and it was only what the World Health Organization were under the assumption of that the hantavirus on this vessel, the MD Honduras or whatever it's called, they were struggling to understand how this. Got this again. Right, I'm back on. Right, I don't know what's happening here. Am I on? Am I not on? What's going on? Some crazy stuff's happening. Am I streaming? Am I not streaming? I don't even know. Right, let me start again, guys. Sorry about that. Should I start the stream again? No, I'll just keep going, guys. I'll keep going. So, the latest from the hantavirus is that the cruise ship has now the authorities basically have said that they are confirming that there is human to human transmission on this hantavirus. So the situation's moving fast. Now I'm just gonna like I said before, I believe this is here now. I believe the cat's already out the bag. And the main thing that's telling me that is not the information, but the speed of the information that this information is being thrown out. Before I get into this, if you guys consider that anything takes time, right? Anything takes time, because, for example, this information that's out, that's literally last 26 minutes ago, that there is a confirmation that this hantavirus is now spreading between humans, because guess what? There's a new strain, and this particular strain is the one that's spreading between humans. I'll come on to that in a second. But the speed which this information is being released is unbelievable. Now, if you're working behind the scenes, right? If you're a doctor, if you're whatever, right? You don't want to say these things, unless you have confirmed, triple confirmed, and got like 6 or 7 different experts, to write this off. So just the main thing I'm concerned about is the speed that this information is being released, because if you know what's coming, right? If you know what's coming and you've got a playbook, you can just release that information, right? What's next? Right. We release this. Wait till the mainstream media have reported on it. Then we release this. Wait till everybody's saturated. Then we release this. Then we release this. Then we release this. So this virus that hits the, I'll give you guys an update on what's happening because it is moving quick, right? So the virus that hit the Dutch cruise ship has now been blocked from docking in Tenerife, which I think is absolutely a solid move, by the leader of the Canary Islands, has openly said there isn't enough information to guarantee public safety. And he's absolutely right. He's demanded an urgent meeting with the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sanchez. Despite that, Spain's government has granted permission for the ship to head to the Canary Islands anyway. Now, if you guys look at the other stuff that's been happening in Spain, whereby the Spanish government have just given citizenship, not censorship, but maybe censorship, where the Spanish government have just given citizenship to 500,000 predominantly African young men, and now they're Spanish citizens. There is that direction of travel, right? This comes as South Africa confirmed. Here's the thing, guys. You best sit down. The Andes strain of hantavirus, the rare version known to spread from person to person. So remember what we said last night, right? How the World Health Organization were they were that was their working suspicion. Turns out it's been confirmed now very quickly. So there's this new strain now. It's called the Andes strain of hantavirus, the rare version which is known to spread from person to person. So if we contextualize this now, and then if we understand that this ship has been a sail, it's been sailing quite a while, all these places are, potential places for, a further infection. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then, they could still have infected people there. So there's a lot of potential places now that this virus could have spread. Remember, there's an 8-week incubation period. Well, up to 8 weeks incubation period. So a lot of people could be sick. They don't even know it. They're moving around. They're passing this on human to human. You guys can see what's coming, right? I know I can. So 7 suspected cases in total. 3 people have already gone to the candy shop and more evacuations are underway. 2 crew members, 1 British, 1 Dutch, are due to be flown to the Netherlands tonight with acute respiratory systems. A contact of one of the deceased is also being evacuated. Can you imagine the hell on that ship, though, guys? Seriously, can you just imagine how bad it is on that ship? And I don't mean like, I mean like the psychological, aspect. The ship's still off Cape Verde with, they started with 149 people. I think they're down to like 140 or something. People from 23 different countries on board, including more than 20 British nationals. Although the global health authorities still say that the risk to the wider public is low, the fact that we are now seeing this human, look, guys, whether you guys want to believe it or not, this is what we're being told, right? We are now seeing this human-to-human transition, that's when you do it with a pistol, right? Human-to-human transmission, not transition, that's something totally different, guys. That's a tactical lesson. Of this, this virus. Now, they're saying it's contained on this cruise ship. I don't think it's going to be contained for much longer because of all the places that they've stopped off. The information is there for you guys to connect those dots yourself, right? It's not difficult to connect those dots. If there's an 8-week incubation period for this virus and the ship has been sailing for 4 weeks, that means that the people who are infected could have been infected a month before they even got on the ship, infecting other people, right? That means everybody on the ship could be infected. That means that all those places that they've stopped off, they could be infecting people there. Equally, you can flip that and you can say they may have caught this infection from one of the islands. They may have caught this from somewhere in Argentina. We just don't know, right? Now this is I believe there's a casualty in South Africa. So especially when you guys remember how quickly these things escalated the last time a new virus of unknown origin appeared. Honestly, this does feel uncomfortably familiar. It does, uncomfortably familiar. A handful of cases, reassurances, international passengers, and now governments arguing over where this can dock. This Andes strain it's not the ordinary hantavirus strain. It's the one that can now hit hard, fast, with a high fatality rate once it reaches your lungs. Remember, this new Andes strain is the one that can be passed between humans and humans. Imagine you working behind the scenes, right? And just like for entertainment purposes, right? It's totally wild conspiracy, right? Just imagine you are the project manager. Just pretend like total conspiracy, guys. Totally entertainment purposes, right? Let's just imagine, and I'm not saying this is the case. I'm really not. I'm going to do a members only video about the other thing, about my thoughts that would probably not be welcome to everyone. But I'm going to do that for a members only video as soon as I've done this. Excuse me. Can you imagine you're the project manager, right? You're the project manager of this project, and you're sat there in the office. You've got your team leaders, then you've got your I don't know, your section leaders, or however they disseminate that in as a civilian. In the military, you've got to have a commanding officer, officer commanding, platoon commanders, section commanders. So imagine you're sat there, right, and you're releasing this information. You can't release one piece of information until the other piece of information is released. You know what's coming next, right? You know what's coming next. So once one piece of information is being released, you say, right, has that saturated yet? Yes, it's been saturated. What do you mean by saturated? Well, do we have so many likes, so many shares? Do we have enough people talking about it yet? Yes. Right. Okay. We can head on to the next phase. Right. Okay. Release this piece of information. And it's happening so quickly. That's a massive red flag for me. Think about the terror alert state in the UK, right? Nobody wants to raise the terror alert state. Nobody wants to do it. So now you don't want to be that guy who says, "Yep, we're doing it." So you will confirm, you will check, you will recheck, you will get alternate opinions, you'll get third, fourth, fifth, sixth opinions. That's how it would happen normally. But there's not enough time elapsed for those checks and balances to go through. Not a chance. There's not enough chances for those, for this information to be released so quickly. Now, this ship is expected to reach the Canary Islands in the coming days. However, I don't know what's happening with that because I think the mayor or whoever it is in the Canary Islands has said, absolutely not. That's ridiculous. You're not coming here, which I think's fair. There are evacuations happening by air, but the rest of the people remain trapped under quarantine. So I will keep people updated on this. I do think this is here now. I don't think it's, I think it's already out the bag, like I said last night. And the main news from like a couple of minutes ago is that this hantavirus has now been, in fact, let me, hang on. I'll share it with you. So 9 minutes ago, cruise ship latest hantavirus confirmed spread human to human. Hang on, and there's another update there. Let me see what that is. Oh, it's nothing. It's just a video. One man infected. We're there. We are there, guys. It's happened. It's in Zurich. It's in Zurich. Okay, so one man infected with... I'm not going to share this with you. One man infected with hantavirus is being treated in Zurich, the Swiss government say. Yeah, that's it now. It's in Zurich. It's in Switzerland. It added, there is no danger to the Swiss population because they've got him and he's under quarantine. However, I don't believe it, guys. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. There's a mistake. There's a failure. I think this is here now. Right. Let me jump onto the chat, guys. Let me jump onto the chat. Donna is saying, Sean. Yeah, this is the worst thing that could happen, right? This is the worst thing that could happen. Look, guys, I am gonna touch. I'm gonna do a video, right? I'm gonna do a members only video later, and I'm not doing that because like I'm trying to keep anything from you. I'm doing that because I don't want to say these things publicly. But if this was the military, right? If I was dealing with this, what I would do is I would say, right, okay, I'm sorry for those 149 people. I'm sorry, but you guys are staying on that boat, right? You guys are staying on that boat until we've dealt with this situation. Removing people from that boat is ridiculous. It's so absurd. Can you guys remember back in 2019, right? Can you guys remember how, like, the nobody closed down the airports, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, like, why don't we just close down the airports? Why don't we stop people? Why don't we just stop that? So yeah, I absolutely think it's I think it's going to come. What will happen is, listen, guys, this is just me wild speculation, right? From what Donna's saying there, Canary Islands rejects cruise ship as UK scrambles to get Brits home. So if these Brits are airlifted via medical helicopter to somewhere and then flown back, could you fly? No, you couldn't. No, well, you could, but it'd be a nightmare. Let's just say these people are flown back, right? What are the odds that at that hospital there's an outbreak of hantavirus, and they just go, oh, there must have been a failure in PPE. There must have been a failure. One of the things, if you've done like a health and safety course, right? Yeah, I know I've done health and safety courses. I have. If you do like a health and safety course, one of the things they tell you is if you remove the risk from the hazard, you won't get a problem. You won't. That's the reality. So the hazard in this case is the it's the infected people, right? That's the hazard. And the risk to the United Kingdom is that hazard coming in contact with people, right? They're at the other side of the Atlantic, right? They are literally at the other side of the Atlantic. I don't think, I think you should stay there, right? Paul is saying smart dusts and vaccines are mental, wouldn't you say? Listen, at this point, I don't know what this is, but I am convinced that this is going to be the next thing. Clarendon is saying, Sean, that explosion in Bristol was tragic incident in a different kind of way. Yeah, so the this is what I was going to do this morning, right? This morning I was going to talk about this explosion in Bristol. It turns out it was a couple arguing and someone had a hand grenade. So I did suspect that when I found out it was if you guys remember when we was talking about this, I said it could be a hand grenade because that sounds like the thing that you would be like arguing about. But then there was like 2 people injured, and then there was like 3 other people injured, and I just thought a hand grenade's not that powerful. It's really not. So it turns out it was a hand grenade, and they were having a domestic. The boyfriend turned up with a hand grenade, and they had a makeup bang. Kinder is saying rub on a door. Good foot. Right. Okay. Thomas Vale is saying 2 people infected with the strain that can pass between humans, say South Africa. Yes. So this is that's the new strain, right? This is this Anders. Let me Google it. Hang on. I was in such a rush to get on here, guys. Like I said, I had to do this last minute because this was quite, this was breaking, and it's, it's only been out like 30 minutes or something. Okay, so I'm going to read this off AI. Wow. Okay, so listen, guys, I'm literally reading this now. Look, guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm not let me share this. You guys can see that there, right? So that's what I'm going off. I've literally just asked AI. The Andes virus, ANDV, is a highly lethal rodent-borne hantavirus. Right, okay. So like the hantavirus would be like the broad name. So a hantavirus would be like the broad name. So like, for example, coronavirus was the broad name of COVID-19, right? I think you see, we see how we're putting these things together and they're giving us just enough breadcrumbs. So the Andes virus is a highly lethal rodent-borne hantavirus native to South America. Now, I think this is in South Africa now. Primarily found in Argentina and Chile. It's a major cause of hantavirus cardiopulmonary syndrome, a severe respiratory disease with a mortality rate of around 35 to 50% by the beard of Zeus. You don't want to get that, right? Nobody wants to get that. Can you imagine, like, laid there? Andes virus is specifically significant because it's the only hantavirus strain with documented evidence of human-to-human transmission. I'm just seeing this information being released too quick, guys. I am. Current relevance. The Andes strain, has gained recent attention due to a suspected outbreak in May 2026 aboard the MV Honduras. Cases linked to the ship, which traveled from Argentina, have resulted in at least 3 people to the candy shop and several hospitalizations. Authorities are investigating whether the virus spread between passengers or originated from a common environmental source. Well, the news that's out in the last couple of the last, I don't know, 30 minutes or whatever, is that it's now confirmed to have spread between humans. So this is now spreading. I'm going to speculate that the speed of information that comes out is going to increase, and that's just going to lead to more lockdowns. I think, it makes perfect sense. Listen, what better way to listen, you know how everybody was, listen, this is wild speculation now, right? This is wild speculation. You guys know how, we're going to find out tomorrow, right? What's happening with Keir Starmer and the Labour Party. Because if you guys live in the if you guys are not in the, if you guys don't live in the United Kingdom and you're looking in what it's like, it's pretty wild. So tomorrow there's a local election. I don't know what that would be like in the United States. Maybe that would be like, would that be your primaries or something? I don't know. But in the United Kingdom, like once every 4 years, you vote for your local council. So that's like, your local government, basically, which is not to do with the main government. So we're having a vote tomorrow, and all perceivable metrics are saying it's going to be an absolute disaster for Keir Starmer's Labour Party. And I've been saying that he's not going anywhere. I know a lot of you guys, and I know a lot of you guys are saying that Keir Starmer's going to be gone. It's gone. It's over. He's finished. He ain't coming back. I don't think that's the case, guys. I don't. And when I'm thinking about these elections, I just keep thinking, like in the back of the one thing I keep thinking, right, is, have you hit that like button? Have you guys? Have you hit that like button? I know some of you have. Some of you will be sat there, maybe laid there, maybe, I don't know, maybe standing on one leg, sat at a table, bed or chair. Hit that like button, guys. Really helps me out when you do that. And if you've not done so already, while you're down there having a little fumble with your fingers, just wave your finger around and hit all those buttons, guys. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so tomorrow with this, with the elections, it is perceived to be an absolute I guess like a bloodbath for the current Labour Party. Now, people are saying that Keir Starmer's going to go, he's gone, and I've been saying absolutely not a chance. Not a chance he's going, guys. Not a chance Keir Starmer's going. And we've all been saying, yeah, but look, and I've been saying, listen, 2029 is a long way away, right? Like 3 years away. What a good way to stop elections than another global pandemic. Donald Trump stays in power. Keir Starmer stays in power. You know, look at all the calamities. Running Bear is saying 4:22 a.m. here. Oh, right. Okay, so Running Bear, you must be in like America or so. Are you like you're in America, right? Running Bear's in like are you East? I'm gonna say you're East Coast America. Oh, hang on a minute. Sean, right, okay. Sorry, right. Oh, hang on. Right. Right, I'm jumping up for your comment, Donna. Donna, I can't find your comment. Where's your comment, Donna? It's gone. Donna, I can't see your last comment. Right, Donna, can you throw your comment again, please? Okay, is this it? Hang on. No way. There's some crazy stuff happening, right? And can you guys remember the 11 drones that were stolen that can disperse chemicals? They were crop dusting drones, basically. Now, there are 11 of them went missing in, I think it was, I want to say Florida. My reaction to, I'm assuming, yeah. Right, let me jump up, guys, and get some more of these comments. Clarendon is saying, yes, Rod, but even better than they'd all powerful now and near impossible to track sometimes. Right, okay, you guys are talking among yourselves. Catalytic Converter is saying, the Book of Barron's Little Adventure, Baron Trump's Little Adventures, right? Says Trump is the last president and this will be the last election. Listen, I'm going to come on later and I'm going to do a UFO UAP update, right? It's out of control now. It's like, I don't know if you guys have been tracking this. I know a lot of you guys are not interested, and I get that. But the amount of media that's being produced, we've now got, so yesterday I did a video, and I'm not going to steal my own thunder. I'm just going to briefly gloss over this. Yesterday, I did a video and I shared the source code, right? I shared the source material, right? And I said, this pastor in America says that there's secret meetings with all the religious leaders and they're being told to prepare for release of information, confirming aliens, confirming alien craft, and confirming reptilians. Guys, I totally accept if you think this is BS. I totally accept that, right? And I honestly, I don't know. All I'm saying is that's what's being pushed out on the media, right? That's all I'm saying. Now, like, or late last night, we've now got the actual pastors who are coming out and saying, yeah, it was me. I was on that meeting. You know, it was in Colorado. And I'll talk about that later. Now, look, guys, I totally appreciate it, right? You may think it's BS. You know, I would tend to agree with that. That doesn't matter. What I'm reporting on is that these people are saying this, right? So one of two things is true. They're either telling the truth or they're lying. And I think both of those scenarios are equally as crazy, right? Dave King is saying, might be a bioweapon warning to Iran. English Daredevil is saying our country is on a deathbed. It does feel like it, doesn't it? There was more protesting last night outside the Ahmadi religion of The Armadi. I used to work in a place called Ramadi, and for some reason I keep saying Ramadi. There was more. There was more protest last night outside the Ahmadi religion of peace and light. Now, hang on, I've got some videos to share with you guys. Yeah, this one. So allegedly, right, this was from last night. So let me share this. Now, we're being told, and look, guys, I don't know how credible this is. We're being told that the perimeter was breached last night. So the
Are you going to try and get the ball?
something that's evident to me is this sort of stuff would have reached, like a couple of years ago, right? This sort of stuff would have reached, this would have been mainstream media, right? You would have had Sky News, you'd have had BBC, you'd have had all the news outlets down there, right? No one. And I do think this is why people don't believe anything they see on the big news channels anymore, because, like, to me, why is the why is the mainstream media not down there? Why is there not a BBC guy going talking about this?
Bro, why is bro actually trying to push you into him, bro? I want that in today, now. He doesn't want to push you
So something I've just noticed, the street lights have been changed from, how the street lights used to be orange and they used to have this orange glow. The other day I was talking to one of my friends and he's in California. I said, mate, what? And he was talking and he said, that cityscape of California, the one that we're, the one that you like visualize, like California, the cityscape and all these beautiful lights and that beautiful city in the desert. Yeah, he says that's all gone now. He says those lights, he said they've changed them all for these like bright white, energy efficient lights. And he says it just looks horrible. Clarendon is saying they're fighting a losing battle. Their YouTube and internet will always defeat their narrative. Yeah. When I started putting videos online, I stuck in my lane. I stuck in my lane, which was guns, tanks, planes, trains, automobiles. But the more you look at this stuff, the more you start connecting these dots and seeing patterns. You literally see patterns. You do. If you're looking at the news and looking at current events constantly, you absolutely see patterns. So, for example, right? Have I still got them up? Yeah. So, for example, the mainstream media are silent about this, right? Nothing. They're all silent about this. Silent. Not one mainstream media is talking about this, right? However, literally every man and his dog are talking about this. And they're talking about it quickly. They're developing. They've got, they're doing infographics. They're doing little videos. So you can understand. You can see this, right? And we are talking about hantavirus. And what I'm saying is, the release of information has been so quick. It has, guys. The release of information regarding this hantavirus has been so quick. Oh, hang on a minute, Shab. Hang on. Yeah. The release of information has been so quick. People are putting together these videos with little, you know, visualizations behind them and like, you know, pictures of the ship and then little, you know, little animations of a little rat. That takes time. It does, guys. That takes time to do. Somebody has to, you know, you have to pull Andy. Andy, you're doing a piece on, imagine The Office, right? BBC Office or whatever. You know, you don't have people sat around doing nothing, right? You have people working because you're paying them to work. So you have to pull somebody off a project and put them on this project. So that means that that project's been, you know, just been, you know, being put on the shelf. And then you have to get them working on this project. And what I'm saying is, look at all the different news outlets now dragging that. And this is what's going on behind the scenes, right? Look at all the different news outlets dragging people off other projects to put them on this project. Listen, I think the cat's out the bag with this hantavirus. I said this last night. There's more confirmation this morning, and you know, I think that's gonna be the direction of travel, right? This, you know, we know what's going to happen, right? We know what's going to happen. They're all contained on the ship, and everybody's saying, keep them on the ship. Keep them on the ship. Absolutely, keep them on the ship. Keep them on the ship. No, you're letting them. Imagine this, right, being like a zombie movie, right? I love zombie movies. They're about the best horror, like zombie movies are the best. Like they're the only horror film I can deal with, really, except from when the zombies run. Right? When those zombies are fast zombies, I'm tapping out on that, guys. I ain't watching fast zombies. Not a chance. That's me for 6 weeks, not sleeping. I'm not watching fast, but slow zombies. That's what I'm talking about, right? Then, you know, the slow zombies, the Shaun of the Dead zombies, those zombies. That's about as far as I can go. Anyway, imagine, right? Imagine like a zombie movie and there's a zombie infection on this ship, right? Zombie infection on this ship. And there's human-to-human transmission of these zombies, right? And somebody says, let's bring the ship on shore. And you're like, what? What? Let's bring the ship on shore. Say that again. Yeah. So hang on a minute. So you've got all the zombies on the ship. Yes. Okay. Can they infect anyone else? No, you idiot. They're on a ship in the middle of the Atlantic. Okay. Okay. So tick. Right. Let's leave that there. Let's agree on that one. We found a common starting point. Okay. If we bring them on shore, is there a chance that they can infect someone else? Well, there is, but we're going to be really careful. There is a chance, but you're going to be careful. Yes. Okay. And there's no chance if you leave them at sea. No. Okay, bring them on shore. Sounds perfect. Do you promise that you're going to abide by the highest contamination rules? Yes, I promise. It seems absolutely absurd that they're bringing the ship on. That they're bringing they're actually bringing these. Oh, hang on, there's been another update. It just seems absurd that they're bringing these British crew members. British crew member to be airlifted from stricken cruise ship amid hantavirus outbreak. It's the crew member is understood to be experienced. That's all it says. So, yeah, I'm seeing all. Can you guys? I'm just seeing. Literally, I'm seeing it. Like, I'm literally seeing. Oh, 3 minutes ago. What did I say? Guys, what did I say? I told you this was coming out quick 3 minutes ago. Let me share this with you now. 3 minutes ago. So Switzerland confirms a virus case. Moving fast. It's moving fast, ladies and gentlemen. It's only going to be a matter of time, right, before we hit track and trace again. Track and trace. You know, we're going to have track and trace because this is now in Zurich. South Africa's health ministry confirmed on Wednesday the 2 passengers tested within the country have the Andes strain of the virus, which thought rare has been known to transmit between humans. Swiss officials also confirmed 1 case is being treated in Zurich. Now, I'm pretty sure I think I spoke about this earlier, and this was one of the people that's been off the ship and they've been airlifted to Zurich. How long though before a member of staff goes ill in Zurich in Switzerland? James is saying food poisoning, diarrhea are regular occurrences on cruise ships and deaths. This is a nothing event. 3 people, hardly an outbreak. It's all BS. It may be true, James. That may absolutely be true. Doesn't matter, right? It absolutely doesn't matter because that's not what we're being told. We're being told that it's something else. The world governments are going to react, and look, all these small businesses, all these small businesses have been destroyed. Masses of people are unemployed, all claiming free money. What a fantastic way to get people to, what fantastic way to get people to go and have a medication, then say, right, listen, this is a national emergency. We will not be paying anyone. We will not be paying anyone who's not vaccinated. So if you're not vaccinated, you're going to lose lose your rent. Because people are taking that free money, right? And this is how I've warned of this. And I do think I'm going to do another video, guys. I'm going to do another video for the members, right? Because I don't want to say things like out on public that people can go back and say, look what Sean was saying. So I'm going to do a members only video and I'm going to talk about all these things. Laraza for Trump is saying, I can't wait to not comply even harder than last time. It will be a challenge to match that, but I'm game. Challenge accepted. Dan Hall metal detecting is saying, COVID can survive 3 days on services. HANTAVIRUS can survive weeks. We seal off the city. No one leaves. We must stop the spread of misinformation. David is saying, man-made, I'm sticking to it. It just though they will can lock us down again. They feel like they've lost too much control over the last 2 years. I've got to pretend COVID. I've got to pretend COVID again. Listen, I'm just going to throw this out there, right? I am well up for another lockdown. I am. Like, I can't tell you how, like, not having to worry about anything. What was it, like 3 or 6 months? When the government came in the UK and they said, oh, we're going to, you don't have to pay you don't have to pay any of your bills. I was like, yeah, this is absolutely huge. I can remember all this, and just thinking, this is a beautiful time. It is. It was. I'll just throw it out there, guys. I enjoyed the last lockdown. Yes, we live in the countryside. Most of my work from home anyway, so I didn't really change for me, other than I got to spend a lot more time with the kids. Guys, I told you. Look how quick this. Donna, thank you so much, Donna. Right, let me just find this, Donna. Right. Right, I'm going to have to copy this verbatim because I can tell this is new. Hantavirus on a cruise ship. A French national has been identified as a contact. Guys, this is it. I told you last night, ladies and gentlemen. I told everybody that this was happening. French national has been identified as a contact case. Hang on. French national. Right, Donna, where are you getting that from? Donna, who's reporting that? I can't find that. I've spelled. Right, hang on. Donna, can you please tell me where you're getting that from? Because I want to share that information. Donna is, I can't find the article. And I'm not saying it's not there. It's just, if this is brand new, not everybody will be saying this. So while I wait for Donna, Donna's saying that breaking news, the hantavirus on a cruise ship. A French national has been identified as a contact case after a flight taken by one of the sick passengers. So what that means basically is this has spread human to human now on a flight. So how many other people? You guys know where this goes, right? So he's walking around now, not knowing he's infected. This is, that's what this means. Donna, I don't know if Donna's still on. Maybe she's gone. It's on X. Right, okay. It's on X. Let me, guys, listen. This. Please bear with me. This situation is developing fast, and I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get this information to you. So I'm doing this in real time. Okay. I often work better under pressure. That's not my Dusza, bliska. Pizda. Ha. Boom! There we are, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. I'm sharing it with you. Get ready. We are go time, ladies and gentlemen. We are go time. Thank you so much for that, Donna. Right, so this is from, okay, so I need to caveat this. This, I don't know if this page is legit, but this is what the World Health Organization are saying. Fucking hell, I literally, as exactly as I said it. Guys, exactly as I said it. These are the exact words I said. I've not seen this. World Health Organization, Swiss authorities have confirmed a case of the virus identified in a passenger from the MV Honda's cruise ship. He had responded to an email from the ship's operator informing passengers of the event. and presented himself to a hospital in Zurich. Right, okay. So this is a passenger now. So he didn't know he had it. Fucking told you. I said exactly this would happen. Go and watch my video yesterday. In line with the international health regulations, the World Health Organization is working with relative countries to support the international track and trace. The international... there, look. To ensure that those potentially exposed are monitored and that any further disease is limited. Yeah, we're cooked. That's it. It's out. The cat's out the bag. Ladies and gentlemen, right? Ladies and gentlemen, please share my stuff. I like yesterday on yesterday's live stream, literally, I did this. I made this little infographic. I did. I took my time and effort to make this infographic for you guys. And what I said is, human transmission, 8-week incubation period. Look at all these places you could have spread that virus. And it turns out, I told you so. I told you so, ladies and gentlemen. I told you guys exactly what was coming, and now it's here. So let's jump back to this. The type of virus in this outbreak has been confirmed as the Andes virus. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, as of May the 6th. Yeah, guys, it's here now. It's here. Literally, this is the swizzle here. This is from 39 minutes ago, ladies and gentlemen. 39 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you so much, Donna. So, a passenger responded to an email from the ship's operator informing the passengers of the health event. So, I didn't realize this. So, obviously, you know, as this ship is docking places, I didn't know this. People are obviously getting off, right? They're getting off and people are getting on. And when those people get off, they're going to fly to another country, right? When they're on that plane, you know, guess what? Guess what an aeroplane is, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah, an aeroplane is a little airtight box. And one thing about an airtight box is it's airtight. Okay, so he's in the plane now. He doesn't know he's got it. Got a little coffee, a little sneezy. So, where are we? He responded to an email from the ship's operator informing the passengers of the health event. He presented himself to a hospital in Zurich, so we spoke about this earlier, and is receiving care. In line with the international health regulations, the World Health Organization is working with relevant countries to support international contact tracing. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. So now everybody at those airports going to different going to different countries on different airplanes. Right, I've got a connecting flight here. To ensure that those potentially exposed are monitored and any further disease spread is limited. Yeah, that's it now, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. You can expect a chain of events to happen that will... You guys know exactly what's coming, right? Defiant Fox is saying viruses can incubate for up to 2 weeks. Why on earth are the passengers not in quarantine? The ship is Defiant Fox, 100%. Right, listen, you guys on X. I love you guys on X. I'm going to be turning this live stream off. Listen, guys, I may just totally scrap the rest of my planned live streams for today, and I may just focus on this. Listen, you guys on X, I'm going to turn you guys off. I'm going to continue this live stream over on YouTube and the Real Raven 1 on YouTube. So please go and join over there. And if not, I am going to be on through the day because like I said last night, go and watch my video last night. I did a little bit of research, and I said that this virus is here now. It is. It's here. It's out in the open. It's out in the open, ladies and gentlemen, and there ain't no going back. Right, let me turn you guys off X. And before I turn you guys off X, if you've not done so already, please hit those buttons. Right, yeah, Defiant Fox, absolutely. Like, if I was controlling this, I would be, you know, I don't know if you're just jumping on. One of the things I said was, like, you know, imagine like a zombie apocalypse, right? Imagine there's a zombie apocalypse, and you've got all the zombies, right? You've got all the zombies literally on a cruise ship. All the zombies on a cruise ship. You know, if somebody comes up with a bright idea, why don't we bring them ashore? What? Well, let's just bring them ashore. So they're contained where they are, right? Yes. And they cannot infect anyone. No, of course not. They're in the middle of the Atlantic. Okay. Why are we bringing them ashore again? So we can give them... Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. What does this button do? Says Benny Hill's amazing video remote control to picture reversals back to 1984 to gag and tie up Bob Geldof and to send him to the tropics in a gorilla suit like Clarence Beaks in Trading Places. I don't know about that. I've read a book called Remote Control by Andy McNabb, and it was absolutely fantastic. Alex Zunder the Great is saying on the 9th of January, 2026, in the United States, there was a recall by the FDA, which is like that's like the food thing, right? Of 2,000 products, including popular brands. Popular brands of popular brands contaminated with rat poo-poo and bird poo-poo mixed in. They could be spreading Hanta. Clarendon is saying, I have no idea why. Yeah, I've not. Clarendon, I've no idea either. I don't know if some people, like, I don't know. I think some people start drinking pretty early, which I'm not, you know, I'm not against. I think it's pretty cool. No way. Yeah, this situation's just got it. Guys, look. The speed of this information release is phenomenal. The speed of this information release is absolutely phenomenal. It is. Louise is saying, you've seen the clause in AWS about what? No, I haven't. What's AWS? All weapon systems. I don't know. If there's a zombie apocalypse, Amazon have the right to take your stuff like wood. What? Right, Louise, I can't look that up. I can't look that up. Right, there's loads of comments, guys. I'm literally jumping to the bottom. I'm jumping to the bottom. Andrea Fenton is saying the ship is Dutch. Look into their commitment to cut cruise ships by 2030. This ties in with climate lockdowns. So somebody was saying last night, I can't remember what it was, but somebody was saying something about somebody was saying something about something, and I can't remember either of them. No, somebody last night on the chat were talking about a similar thing. They were saying that this cruise ship has links to what are they saying? Basically, this cruise ship, it has a link to this certain professor, I think it was. I can't remember what it was, but like last night on the live stream, somebody was saying that there are clear links between this cruise ship and, you know, various suspicious committees. Stop. Amazon, right. Guys, I'm done. I'm going to tap out. I'm absolutely tapping out to this. What? Right, listen, guys, we're going down a strange path here. We're going down a strange path here, right? I'm done. I need more coffee. Right, I'll share this with you. So I literally asked AI, can Amazon Web Service confiscate materials in the case of a zombie apocalypse? Spelt wrong. Yes. What the fuck? Yes. According to a specific, widely reported and humorous clause in Amazon's web service, terms of service, the normal restrictions on how you use their services are lifted in the event of a zombie apocalypse. While intended as a joke, okay, to see who reads the small print, the clause 5710 of the lumberyard materials terms specifically outlines what happens during a widespread viral infection transmitted via bites or contact with bodily fluid that causes human corpses to reanimate and seek to consume living flesh. Blood, brain, or nerve tissues is likely to result in the fall of organized civilization. I mean, maybe it is a joke, you know. Maybe it is a joke. I think it's quite funny if it is a joke. I can see this being a joke, right? However, not even a however. What I will just give context to this is there's a US military exercise, and it's I can't remember what it's called. And they train for a zombie apocalypse, right? That's what they train for. They train for a zombie apocalypse. Now, I think it's their officer training. Now, the reason they do that, right, is it's just easier to say that there's a zombie apocalypse, right? Because you've still got to hit certain security, you've still got to hit certain security thresholds. You've got to think about logistics. You've got to think about water. You've got to think about manpower supply. You've got to think about weapon systems, where you're going to site them. So using a zombie apocalypse, right, it's just easier to write that because nobody's going to get offended, right? You know, you're not going to say, oh, it's this group or it's this group. And it's not very political. So that's why that's done. You know, we used to do that in the army as well, have like, you know, silly scenarios. And there's something called a CHOOT, tactical exercise without troops. So you literally, it's a bit of a faff. Normally, right, on a Friday afternoon, the commanding officer wants to do a CHOOT. So all the commanders, junior commanders will have to go on to walk around, yes, I would do this, I would do that. And it's totally gay, but you've got to shut your mouth because you want to go home, right? Right, I'm jumping down to the bottom again. Guys. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, the crux. The aliens will eat us. Listen, with zombies. Yeah. Clarendon is saying, add zombies to the list of demons, AIs, gods, aliens, entities, alternate dimension, trans-dimensional beings, famine, war, reptilians, and migrant crisis. Cancelling the Converter is saying the new pound coin has bees on it. The hive mind, the bee worker, Manchester bombing, the year after the bee is installed, Ariana Grande. Right, okay. Just quickly, yesterday I went down to the, how I said the other day that I said the other day that I've never seen as many plums on my plum tree. Never seen as many plums on the plum tree. We've got like this yellow, I don't know what it is. I might take a picture and share it. Like a yellow tree. It's got like this blossom and you get like these little peas off, like little pea pods about that big. I don't know what it is. But I walked down there the other day and honestly, I've never seen as many bees buzzing around this tree. It looked beautiful. Kinder is saying, no, push Raven over, arrest that drunk behind the tree, okay? Right, listen, guys. Let me give you guys a quick recap on what we've been talking about, and then I will close this down. I am going to be pretty much back on straight away because I've got so much to do, and I do think that this story is going to be. I do think this is going to be breaking right all day. So. Again, just as we've spoke about this live stream, just as we've been on this live stream, the story's developed. However, as of when I started this this live stream, we was talking about this hantavirus, and the situation is moving fast. It's not calming down, guys. It's not. This situation has moved now from a containment situation to a minimization strategy. So this particular strain is now called something called the Andes strain of the hantavirus, which is rare, not that rare anymore, right? It's known to spread from person to person. There have been several cases confirmed. People have died. In the last hour or something, there have been it's been confirmed now that this is the Andes virus, which means it spreads between people to people. Now, from a few minutes ago, literally from a few minutes ago, the World Health Organization have come out and they have confirmed now the first case. The first case of a passenger that, who's not on that boat. So there's now a passenger who got off somewhere. I don't know where. The passenger got off somewhere. They then flew to Switzerland, Zurich in Switzerland. They then presented themselves to the hospital and said, hey, listen, I've just had this email and I've got a little bit of a cough. Can you check me out? Turns out this guy in Zurich now has the hantavirus. And what they're doing here, look, you guys can see that. They are the World Health Organization. That little sentence there, guys, that's all you need to know. The World Health Organization are now operating their track and trace system. So all these people that have been moving through, check-ins and connecting flights and having sandwiches, then you're in a pressurized tin can. Like I said yesterday, the cat is out of the bag with this, guys. It really is. All the places that this could have happened. I still think we're going to see more. All these places here. This will be the last time I show this, guys. I know. I'm doing my own infographics, as you can tell. So all these places, it's here now. The news cycle is going to accelerate with this. And that direction of travel is going to move forwards a lot quicker. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a members only video now. I'm then going to come straight back on. I'll probably be back on. I'll be back on at 12 o'clock UK time, okay? I'll do another live stream, 12 o'clock UK time. And I will if there's more information out on hantavirus, I'll talk about that. If not, I will do my original video for today, which was going to be about the crisis that we have in the United Kingdom unfolding, mass migration, the crime rates, the elections tomorrow, and this developing situation in Crewe outside the Ahmadi religion of peace and light. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I bid you good evening. Cancel confirmed. Say, please look into the connection between bees and humanity. I will. I bid you good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I don't bid you good evening. I bid you good morning. I'll be back on at 12. I'll see you guys then.